Hollywood used to know how to make dangerous women, not strong female characters with perfect hair, plot armor, who never actually get hurt, not Mary Sue girl bosses who are perfect at everything. No, dangerous women. Women who bled, women who fought, women who won dirty and ugly if they had to. And today on Bullets, Blood, and Babes, we've got 10 movies that are full of them. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, welcome back to Bullets, Blood, and Babes. Today we got 5 decades, 10 films, and one argument that I want you to notice as we go through here. That's that every one of the filmmakers behind all of these movies understood something that Hollywood keeps forgetting, and that is that a dangerous woman is not a man with a different haircut. It's not a Mary Sue or a girl boss who is perfect out of the gate at everything they do. It's none of that. It is a woman who has her own brand of badassery, ruthlessness, her own kind of power. And when the filmmaker actually gets that, the results are unforgettable. We're going to dive into it, kicking off our list at number 10, all the way back in 1968, and Jane Fonda in Barbarella. We start way back here because Jane Fonda in this is sort of legendary for her whole space clothes removal, but that's just part of the movie. Barbarella is in the 41st century, and she's a space agent sent to retrieve a missing scientist, and that's the plot. What actually happens is Jane Fonda navigating through a psychedelic sexual galaxy of blind angels, evil queen, torture devices that kill you with excessive pleasure, let's just say. But yeah, that's what it is. It's the excessive machine. Now, Jane Fonda plays this fearlessly. She does. Zero self-consciousness. Barbarella is not a victim in any way, shape, or form. She uses every tool available to her for her survival to complete her mission, and she wins. The film looks like someone dropped a kaleidoscope onto a vintage sci-fi paperback and hired Jane Fonda to walk through it. That's what it really does. Then you throw in a whole bunch of sexual energy to this thing, a production design that's crazy, visual excess. The pitch to this thing is all over the place. You cannot explain it. It is perfect for a video like this. A complete insane recommendation. 100%. Barbarella is where it all started with films like this in a lot of ways. She didn't apologize for it. Got the movie right here, the poster right there. Definitely a pioneer for a list like this. All right, so Jane Fonda, 1968. Now we're heading 5 years into the future with 1973's Coffy. And this one is awesome with Pam Grier starring, and she was like a icon of movies like this that you could make a whole Bullets, Blood, and Babes list of nothing but Pam Grier movies. You absolutely could. But this one kind of changed everything because Coffy is a nurse. Her 11-year-old sister becomes addicted to drugs, and Coffy is quiet, composed, and completely methodical in what she does. She decides to dismantle an entire drug network who is responsible, she believes, for her sister's condition by herself, no backup, no apology. And what separates this film from anything that came before it is Pam Grier is not playing a victim who fights back. She is a predator from the very first frames, from the beginning of this movie. The opening sequence is her luring a dealer into a motel room, gaining his trust, and then doing what she came to do. And that tells you everything about this woman and what she's doing and who she is in about 3 minutes. Pam Grier is awesome in this. She's funny, she's terrifying, she's badass, vulnerable, sexy, ruthless, any adjective you want to throw at her, and sometimes it all happens in the same breath. She carries the entire moral weight, the whole movie, on her shoulders and never buckles. Coffy literally invented this genre, and Pam Grier delivers every ounce and just becomes this character. She deserves a lot of credit for it. Coffy comes in at number 9. Now, 1 year later, same actress, same director, same kind of movie with Foxy Brown. And this one is where I want to make an argument explicitly, because I don't think this one gets enough credit. Pam Grier made 2 films like this in back-to-back years that established the entire dangerous woman action genre basically by herself. Not with any franchise behind her, not with comic books behind her and all of a Marvel engine. None of that. No big studios, just 2 films, limited budgets, and they trusted her with them completely. Foxy Brown is different kind of dangerous than Coffy, where Coffy is like raw grief that turns outward. Foxy Brown is cold calculation, systematic and sort of patient in what it does, but completely without mercy, 100%. The revenge in the film is very specific. It's very brutal. It's very earned. Of course, there's the exploitation angle to all of these films that Pam Grier wasn't shy about. We understand that. We're looking for her to deliver justice in this with everything that's built behind her. She kind of did for these movies what John Wayne did for Westerns like that. And Hollywood never gave her the mainstream career, but she has been in countless movies and had a hell of a ride. Awesome film. Foxy Brown comes in at number 8. Now at number 7, we shift gears, literally, because we go to 1975's Death Race 2000. And Death Race 2000 is a Roger Corman movie. If I didn't tell you anything else, you could accept it being on this list. But it stars David Carradine, a very young Sylvester Stallone. My man Martin Cove is in here. Stallone in this before Rocky, right? And this just a supporting role. And this is one of the times that Roger Corman was wrong, because he thought that Stallone would never be a star based on this movie. But the premise is a dystopian future in America where the national sport is a cross-country road race where drivers score points by running over pedestrians. The more helpless the victim, the higher the score. I know, but here's the thing. Every driver also has a female navigator, and these navigators are not passengers. They are sort of strategists and co-conspirators, and in several cases, maybe the most ruthlessly effective people in the entire film. Corman was also, and this gets missed completely, he was sharp with political satires and all of those things, because he was going to put it under the nudity, the sex, the exploitation, the action, the scares. That's what Corman was going to do first and foremost. But he wrapped all that stuff in the most entertaining packages possible, and that takes some skill that I appreciate. Hollywood never really completely embraced him, but Death Race 2000 absolutely works and should be on a list like this. It comes in at number 7. All right, with number 6, we go deep into the vault with 1983's Hundra. And this is a Spanish-Italian co-production that is completely forgotten by a lot of people. And none of them should forget it, because it's genuinely an interesting, good sort of sword and sorcery exploitation type film. And Hundra is the last surviving warrior of an all-female tribe that was massacred, and she is tasked with one mission: find a mate, produce a daughter, and continue the bloodline. So that's what she is after. But what follows is a crazy set of events. And Laureen Landon plays Hundra, and she is physically committed to this. It's not glamorous. She gets her ass whipped. She gets hurt. She wins some. She loses more. It is very realistic in that. You've got Ennio Morricone doing the score in this, and he is one of the greatest composers in cinema history, doing a sword and sorcery exploitation film. So you got to love that. He's got the Hundra theme, and this one is fun. You're not living your best life unless you've seen Hundra. This one is a deep cut on this episode, but it belongs here, no question. If you walk away from it thinking it doesn't belong here, come out. I'll give you your money back for watching the episode. Hundra is here to stay at number 6. Now, keeping that same theme, we might as well shoot on ahead to 1985, stay in those sandals, keep our swords out for Barbarian Queen. And this one is still deep in the vault for a lot of people, but man, we are going full Roger Corman again with this one. Barbarian Queen, Lana Clarkson starring in this thing, in a film committed to its completely, and I mean completely unhinged premise that became genuinely entertaining throughout the movie through like sheer force of will. You have a peaceful village that's attacked, a little bit like Hundra on there. The women are enslaved this time. The men are all killed, and the queen, the warrior, the last one standing, sets out with a small band of survivors to destroy the empire who is responsible. Now look, this is not a Criterion Collection territory movie. That's not what it is. But on Bullets, Blood, and Babes, it fits very nicely. Because the budget is what it is. And you can tell the production value are what they are. Corman was not making art here. But what the film does costs nothing. And that is entertain you completely. Commits to the female lead as a legitimate force of nature. Not one to be rescued, one that's going to win or lose, have sex, don't have sex, kill, don't get killed, all on her own, and she's going to approach that as all completely normal, no fanfare, no congratulations, just get out there and do it, or don't do it. Try. There is no try. I mean, to quote Yoda, that's what it's here, that's why it's here, that's what it's like. It's a very matter-of-fact sort of treatment of those kind of things. It makes this so much bigger than it is. Think about it. Have some fun. Maybe don't think about it. Just go have some fun with Barbarian Queen. Now we're going to get into the 1990s, and this is going to be one you're not expecting on here. And I've recently found out that a lot of people have never seen this movie. And man, it is time to fix that. 1992's Innocent Blood. And I don't really think this cover art does it justice here, but everything shifts with this one. The tone, the genre a little bit, and you've got John Landis directing Innocent Blood here, and Marie is a vampire who is living in Pittsburgh, of all places, and she has one rule. She only feeds on criminals. She won't take innocent blood. But one night, she makes a mistake. She feeds on a mob boss named Sal, who's played by Robert Loggia, and Robert Loggia gives one of the most unhinged performances. He's like, he's spaced out of his mind in this movie. Let's just say that. His whole career, it's crazy. But he's a mob boss. She feeds on him, doesn't finish the job. Sal wakes up in the morgue as a vampire, and he's now a vampire mob boss. So all the connections, all of that stuff is there. You've got vampire horror, you got vampire strength, and it's all mixed up in a crime boss. So you have crime drama, horror, all of that. It's like, what if the scariest mob boss, crime lord in history was an immortal vampire? You're going to get that. And maybe the most unhinged, crazy one on top of that. The movie's funny, dangerous, it's sexy. I mean, she's nude a lot because she's luring these bad guys in. You see exactly how she does it. It's all in the exact right proportions. And I've talked about this before one time on my channel about 8 months ago when I did vampire movies that you've never seen before. And I was surprised how few people have seen that. And a lot of people don't get into just horror. So putting it on a list like this so that more people find it, I think is something that I need to do. This is a fun movie, a serious movie with some edge, a little bite to it. Innocent Blood, great. John Landis was at the top of his game. This, American Werewolf in London, dude could direct no matter how you feel about him. But this one deserves more love than it gets. It comes in at number 4. All right, now let's jump back a couple years to 1990's Blue Steel. And this is one that's directed by Catherine Bigelow. So before The Hurt Locker, before Zero Dark 30, before any of that stuff, she did Blue Steel, that was starring Jamie Lee Curtis as a rookie cop who shoots a supermarket robber on her first night on the job. The robber's gun disappears from the scene, and then murders start. And Megan's name keeps showing up at crime scene. It's like engraved in bullets, so she is kind of pulled into this. And what Bigelow does here, and I mean this as a filmmaker who studied film, is use the thriller genre to explore all kinds of things, specifically experience and making a mistake on your first night out. All that stuff, that's fine. It's all there. You can see it. You can see it for that if you want to. But at the top of this is an action film, thriller style, with all the heat to it. This isn't a Scream Queen performance by Jamie Lee Curtis. This is a whole different kind of ball game for her. And Blue Steel is maybe the most serious film on this list, and one that holds up as like pure cinema maybe the most. So if you haven't seen this one or haven't caught it in a long time, I think it definitely still deserves a spot on this list, even though it's alongside things like Hundra and Barbarian Queen. Blue Steel, check it out. It comes in at number 3. And now we have some black leather, vampires, and werewolves with 2003's Underworld. Kate Beckinsale versus the world is what happens in this. You've got a franchise launcher right here. I went and saw this on my 23rd, 24th birthday when this came out, and this is a fun movie. You don't have to be a horror fan to enjoy this. Celine is a death dealer, a vampire warrior who hunts werewolves. Efficient, cold, detached. Everything has that blue, cold moonlight feel to it. She's been fighting forever, but then she starts to learn that everything she fights for might not be the truth. You follow her in her tight leather outfit through the whole movie, and she comes in contact with maybe someone who is a little bit like her and not like her at the same time. Maybe both sides coming together in one Scott Speedman. This thing has action, horror, it has some heat to it, lots of things. Everything that you want from a film on this list you are going to find in Underworld. It comes in at number 2. And finally, here we are at number 1 with 2017's Atomic Blonde. This is Charlize Theron basically as John Wick. That's what this is. This is, if you think of John Wick, but it's Charlize Theron. That's what you have with Atomic Blonde, except one of my favorite things is it's set in the 1980s. So you hook me in. So maybe it's John Wick's mom. That's the joke. You hook me in with this. Charlize Theron is an MI6 agent, and she is an absolute ass kicker. And she is in 1989 Berlin. The wall is coming down. Every intelligence agency in the world is scrambling for a list of compromised agents. And Lorraine is brilliant, badass, brutal, and completely alone, and she has to retrieve it. The action is practical. It's very physical. It's exhausting. It goes a long time in each sequence in the best way possible. It will wear you out. You feel like you've been fighting by the end. It has just great action sequences in here. And then, of course, for me, the 1989 setting with the 80s, Cold War, the soundtrack, all of that stuff. Soundtrack in this, New World Order, David Bowie. You have a lot of good soundtrack going on here. One of the better ones in recent years. Charlize Theron is awesome in this. You buy her physicality. 49 years after Barbarella, it shows that this kind of ass kicking by a woman in a girl boss, Mary Sue kind of way is still possible, still extraordinary when Hollywood or a filmmaker understands what it's doing. Atomic Blonde comes in at number 1. So there you go, 10 films, 5 decades, one unbroken tradition that Hollywood built, abandoned, and occasionally kind of remembers and then forgets again, and it's struggling to replicate under the need to make these kind of characters perfect and infallible. You didn't have that. You had Jane Fonda early on, Pam Grier establishing the blueprint, and then Charlize Theron all the way here in 2017, which is almost 10 years ago now, still doing it. The Bullets, Blood, and Babes is there. Go find them, watch them, enjoy it. Action films forever. And that's what I got for you this time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If you want to help support what we're doing here a little bit more, you can join my Patreon. The link is in the description. You'll get all kinds of extras, including your name and lights on every video. If you like the shirt I'm wearing, I have a Babes, Blood, Bullets design coming. I have this design available. It is in my fourth wall link. That link is always in the description. You can find my own genuine designs over there with all kinds of merch, and everything helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. But until next time, be kind, rewind. Like always, this is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.